Hey guys, welcome back to Ash Echoes. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a Nexus guide covering the Nexus, the engravings, and the traces. It's one of the most important things to the game and also one of the most complex reading heavy portions of the game, which is honestly, in my opinion, probably a bit too complex, but hopefully with this video you can understand it a bit more, because once you understand this more, it makes the game just so much more enjoyable. So let's get into it. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is going to be traces. Now, we want to fundamentally understand what the traces have and what they offer. So each trace is going to have a few separate things. The first thing is going to be their basic stats. That's some stats you can roll. Now, when you bring these traces into the Nexus, these are the kind of stat weightings that you're going to get when you run into them along the Nexus. So it's going to basically affect your total engraving stats based on the 6 engravings that you take. Next, we have the stats. We're not too stressed on that. I'm not going to go too deep into that. The next thing you need to know, we do have these regular skills below. Now, these are ones they have a chance of getting. You're not always going to get these. The core skill of them is the Trace Awakening, and this is one that you can upgrade along the way to get better effects from it. Now, this is the core one we're going to look at along with the stats. Just note that these skills are a thing and they will be important on some of them, but I think if we try and dive too deep into this, it's going to get way too confusing. Just for an example of one that's really good is this one here. If you look at this one's Trace Awakening and its main skill, all Echomancer's AoE damage increased by 10%. Not too bad. It doesn't stack. After a fire Echomancer casts a barrier skill, it sounds very, very niche. However, this one I'm going for a summoner team is actually really good in a summoner team because it has all these additional abilities like attack speed increase and 50% summons extra damage increase for 10 seconds. So we have all these other things that can make it good. Just note, if the core skill isn't good, if you're really feeling deep on the ones you get, especially some of the SSR ones you get, jump into the Nexus skills because you might get a really solid skill from these along the way as well. But it's a bit in depth. Like I said, the main things we're going to focus on here is going to be the basic stats and the Trace Awakenings. Just know there are some where the Trace Awakening isn't the most important thing and you can get some good skills, but you're not guaranteed to get these along the way. That's the only thing. So that is traces. Now, the traces, if you look at mine, I've got my level 50s are split because if we go to our engravings here, your director's engraving level is based on the level and duplicates of your traces, and you've got to have one of each trace. So I have leveled one of each trace first, but then I am starting to level, multiple attack ones to get better stats for the actual character that I'm going for. So that is the basics of traces. Now, your engraving is obviously going to be what you get at the end of a Nexus run. I'm going to jump in. We're going to do a full run. I'm going to talk about my the placing of the traces. We're going to talk about all the different sections of the run, and then the skills and stuff at the end. And I'm sorry, I tried to do this. This is about the 8th time recording this video, and I've tried to do it a really simplified way, but I think the best way to do it is just do an elongated run of it so you guys can see what we're looking at. So first of all, which one of these do you want? These skills, the difference between these ones is the skill they give. It's based on, you can see this one is in the Phantasm realm, which is the Nexus Memory Challenge mode. So these are very specific. You don't need these for general play. And just note, when you come to the end of the run, these cost a heavy amount of skill points. So make sure you jump in and tap them out for something else if you're not too stressed about getting them for this specific purpose. But we can jump into any. I've just been doing the Mirage here. We jump into the Echoing Nexus. Now we can choose who we want to do. In general, I like doing a broad range of characters instead of keep redoing one character, because doing a broad range of characters is going to mean you have more characters built up to be leaders in the other game modes in the future, and also having more characters is going to be what gets you upgraded in this system over here. You need to have multiple characters. You can see I've still got to do another triangle character, but we'll get to that at a later point. So let's jump in here, let's jump into the Nexus and let's do ourselves a run. Let's go ahead and do Luca run. Let's go ahead and get him some stuff. So if you want to look at what traces to use, you can go this balance route and it'll give you like recommendations and then it'll show you like what other people have used. Now, the thing with this is that makes it a little bit awkward is like I can see issues like, for instance, this one. The main skill that it provides is when there are 2 or more water Echomancers. Now, my team, if I want to show you guys what the main team that I'm using is going to be Chen, Luke, Laurel, and Freda. There's only one water Echomancer in there, so that ability doesn't really match up. However, once again, there are those other sub-abilities that sometimes you can get a good one of. But let's just jump back in here. Let's go balance, take a look what it says. So here's one that it recommends over here. I'm just going to go ahead and hit apply and see what it is. Now, you can see this one. This is actually using a bunch of the ones that I'm using anyway. This is the one that is different. Just note that you can get shield. The shield activation ones you can get through your terminal. Your terminal, when you drop low, it will shield your allies. So it's not the most efficient way, but if you don't have a shielder, you can still proc some of those. But what is this one over here? Buffs grant 2 stack. Okay, so this is the Inspire one. So this is a max duped version of this. So just note that this final one is something that you can get from your friends. Now you can get it from your friends or your club members. Either one is fine. You can go ahead and pick those up. But just note that that is where you can filter to try and find some good final pieces. Now, that is a really good one for me, and because that is going there as the support one, I could leave that there. I'll have a think about that while we talk about the rest of it, because this one is only level 20 for me, and I'm out of resources to level things up. But the other thing to look at is obviously, one, the core ability it has, two, those sub-abilities, which we're not going to go too deep into, but then also the stats that they provide. So when we take a look at all the stats on these, you can see ideally, I like getting a good chunk of attack. Vitality and defense are obviously your defensive stats. Attack is going to affect your damage. Mastery can affect a range of things, including damage. And then your terminal is going to affect your terminal rate. And also, it has, what is it? The terminal energy regeneration and HP, I believe it is, are the core things that it affects. So when I look at it, I want to get some decent mastery, some decent attack, and then also a bit of vitality and HP. Now, if I look at what else I can put here on the other ones that I have built, if I look at this one, for instance, we've got this one, increases the extra damage of owned summons. So this is not a bad one for me to put in there. The one thing is it's got pretty bad stat weighting. So I don't like the stat weighting, but I do like the effect of it, giving the summons the extra damage, because I am running the summoner team. So we can play around with this. This is another free-to-play one that you can get, which is quite solid for your own sustainability. If you look at it, if your vitality is at 750 or above, it restores HP. So this is a really solid one for survivability. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for more of a damage-based build on this one. I'm going to throw this one in just like that. And this is going to be the build I'm going to run with for this one, because the reason I'm doing this is because I do have my Chen with a more tanky build using the Vitality one and stuff like that. So this is giving me my team. If I want to swap my leader over here, this would give me another more damage-focused option in stages where I'm not struggling with survival, if that makes sense. So that is what I'm going to go ahead and do. This is going to be my set. Once again, you just look for abilities that work with the team you're using. It is a team-based thing, so don't just be picking random stuff. You want to make it synergize with your team. If you're using a fire team, you can go for some fire ones. I am using the summon team, so anything that benefits summons is going to be great for me. So I'm going to jump in now, and we're going to go in and we're going to do the run and take a look, and I'm going to walk you guys through everything we see as we go. So there we go. Let's jump in. And we can start. So let's go forward into the first one. Now you can do it on auto as well. If you click full auto, the things I normally look to doing here is anything that is a core functionality for you. So like you can see here, if I was doing this one, if we go here, triggers 1 stack of Inspire, you really want to get max stacks of Inspire. So you want to have 2 items in here that is going to give you the ability to max out your Inspire stacks. This one's good for damage. This one over here is going to grant Inspire as well. So these 2 are my Inspire ones, so I want them at absolute priority, and then I'm putting this one up here because it's another really good upgrade to get, and it will prioritize upgrading those ones. So you can decide what your priority is, but just note stacking your Inspire, because Inspire for each stack you get gives you 10% damage amplification, and it goes up to 200%. So you really want to have 2 in your slots that do give you maximum Inspire, and if you're autoing, you do want to have it as your priority. So that is that one. Now let's jump in, and once again, I'm not going to full auto it. Let's just go over here, and that's pretty much the settings I do, and it works pretty well for me. I normally auto most things, except if I'm trying to make a really good set for someone and I've got the time. So let's just put it on regular. Let's jump into the fight and let's walk through the battle. So we've got these little things where we battle. Obviously, you just go ahead and use your attacks. Like, worst case, you just kite around if you're at range, and you can just run around these things. Now, these are going to allow you to increase depth. Now, at about depth 12, massive shout out to Lyriel for telling me some of these tips as well, Lyriel from Pridewind. At about depth 12 is when you can stop worrying about going deeper, and you can just skip these battles if you want to, these little mini battles, because depth 12 is like sort of peak efficiency for difficulty versus reward. So we're going to go ahead, these things, when you've only got one option, you just go ahead and take the upgrade. When we get to the stat ones, I kind of just lean towards whatever has the maximum value of stat. You can see 44 and 62. That's like 106 versus 32 and 34. Of course, we're going to take the higher one. So we're just going to skip all the stories. We don't really care about the stories. The encounter, we can go ahead and do the encounter fight. Once again, these are pretty easy, especially early on. We just want to use these to get as deep as possible, up to like that 12 depth. So we're going to increase our depth to level 5. Now we're jumping in here. We're going to take whatever it offers. So now this is our split decision. Now this one here is our Inspire stacks. So this one is super, super important for us. So we're going to go ahead and pick up this one because we really want that ability. Here is our other Inspire one, which is fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and pick up that. Once again, the one on the left here is our Inspire. I really want to get this sorted. We're going to pick up the extra skill points. Now, just note in the bottom right hand corner, it can shows you how many skill points you have and the maximum amount of skill points you need to get every skill you have. Now, you're not going to have to get every skill. It's just a nice little way to gauge what you need. We're going to take that one. Once again, if there's only one choice, it's a fairly easy choice. I'm going to pick up this one here because this is that really nice ability that's going to give us the damage for our summons. So we're going to pick up that, and now we're going to continue on. Once again, skipping any of the story, don't really care. Now we jump into, we've got skill platform or stat platform. In these early stages, I'm still trying to get all my skills to the maximum range that they can have. So we're just going to go ahead and do this. We're going to get into a battle. We can start. Once again, we can do quick setup. I'm going to swap you out for her, and then we should be pretty good. This is my standard team. Now, these early battles are super easy, so I'm just going to skip the battle. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, there we go. Battle cleared. Now we're going to jump out. Now we've got a bunch more things to collect, so we continue forward. Once again, these are some of those random skills, like I said. Increase damage to enemy units with an empty block gauge. Once again, these are those little abilities, not the core ability, that you can unlock randomly along the way, so you can't rely entirely on them. This one, we only need to get this one to level 1. So I'm going to unlock this one, because the other effects... yeah, the number of Inspire stacks obtained through this one. Yeah, so we're not going to be doing the Fire Shield, so we don't need that. So all we need to do is get the one copy of this one so that we can get that damage effect, and then we're hoping for the sub abilities from it. So then we can go ahead and pick up this. Mental load. Now, the mental load, as you go deeper, you get more mental load, and if you start getting it high, you will want to choose that over other things just so you can complete the run better, but I'll talk about that as we come across that situation. So that one, once again, we're not too stressed on the one from the left, so we're going to go the one on the right. I'm going to go the one that gives me extra skill points because I do want to just start loading up on skill points as I can. As you can see, I've got 1795 skill points. For all the skills that I have, I would need 2100, so I'm trying to get those skill points up at the moment. So let's keep going forward. Let's do this. Yep, free upgrade. Okay, now this one, Mastery. It's going to have to be Mastery. I want to get as much attack as possible as well, but that Mastery is just too much to pass up. So we get the encounter here. We're just going to go ahead and do the fight. Boom, tap this. And once you get to 12 depth, you can start skipping these things because you just do these to keep going down in depths. When you're at your depth you're happy with, it doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and obtain that skill. Unfortunately, we have to go this one. So I'm going to go the skill point option again because I still need more of those skill points. Collect that. Now we have this one. So this one, so this is a very interesting choice because I do really want to get this ability stacked up because we get the extra damage. This is like a summon ability. But this one is going to be another one that gives us our Inspire. So I'm very tempted to go this, but I'm just going to unlock this one and then we'll try and get that upgrade along the way. Once again, you just got to make those decisions and hope for a little bit of RNG along the way. We're going to continue here, pick up a little bit of attack. Let's keep running forward. And let's go to the next options. Okay, so yeah, that's a guaranteed. Perfect. Skip that one. Okay, that's good. We do want to get this one maxed out, so that's fantastic. Once again, we don't need this one on the left because that is the shielding one. So we're going to take this upgrade over here. Then we're going to skip the story. Here we go, some more rewards. What was this one? Okay, after each use of an active skill gains attack speed. And so this is one of those abilities I was talking about. This is one that we really wanted to get for our summoner team. But once again, it's just a random luck on whether you get it. And luckily, we did end up getting it. So we get the upgrade there. So now we look at this one. So we've got the defense at 103. We've got 88 and then we've got 98. If I look at my defense, it's at 290. My attack is 461. I'm going to pick up the defense because one, it's the highest number, but also I'm a little bit low on the defense. So we're going to do that. We get some mental load off. And then we've got this one. I'm going to pick up the skill points again. Skip that. And away we go. Next one. All right, let's go again. We get some free stats, which is always handy. Okay, we got another skill. Dealing physical damage restores 10% of max HP. This is a fantastic ability. We will take that. Because I do have a physical team. Now here, I'm not going to reduce my mental load because I have absolutely zero mental load. So we're going to go ahead and pick up this one because once again, it's going to increase my summon's damage. That's fantastic. We get that because it's there on the option. We get that because it's there on the option. Now we come over here. Let's take a look at this one. Deals increased damage to enemies with an empty block gauge. I'm going to go ahead and get the upgrade for this one first. Because we are getting full on skills that we need to allocate to as well. So let's just go ahead there. Go forward again. Once again, let's take a look. Okay, so now we're getting a good chunky attack on this one. So we're definitely going to pick up that attack, wanting as much attack as possible. This one is a very key effect that we want to get. So I'm going to take the attack and the skill points. I'm not too fussed about the terminal stat. So we're going to go ahead and pick up that one. Once again, we get it maxed out. So now we have that one completely maxed. This is another one. We're only at 25 mental load. So I'm definitely picking up this one because this is another key ability for us. And then we have a 268 mastery, which is fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and yoink that for sure. Let's keep going. So now we got another encounter. So now we're once again just going to go poof. Get rid of those guys. Now we're going to keep going deeper. We go to depth 11. Once again, I'll stop at about depth 12 is going to be where I'm happy. Let's go here. What do we get? This one increases extra damage. Okay, that's not too much of a stress. Let's pass through. All right, so do we want skill points and terminal or a bit of mastery and defense? It's honestly a good chunk of defense. So I'm actually going to go for this one as opposed to the skill points because I feel like we picked up a few skills that we don't 100% need. And then over here, once again, another good chunk of defense, which we're just going to joink into that one because the attack is just way too low for me to want to invest into. So now our mental load, if you look at the top right, is getting very high. So as soon as I see a mental load reduction, I will go ahead and pick that up if I'm able to. So there's that one. That's that ability that we're not too stressed on. Once again, I could upgrade this, but I'm not stressed. It's good that this isn't one that I'm too stressed on getting that upgrade anyway. I really need to reduce my mental load so I can keep the damage going. So that's what we're going to pick. All right, moving on from that, let's just continue. Ooh, okay, not too bad. Let's continue with this one. Once again, another one of those random little skills that you pick up along the way. And now I can't remember what depth. If I'm at 12, I don't need to do this. I don't know if I'm at 12 depth yet. So let's just quickly go here. Boom, use. It's no big stress. But yeah, once I'm at 12, I will stop. Okay, I was already at 12, my bad. So we're just going to maintain. So now I can skip those. Now that you see, because yeah, the skip button unlocks at 12. I'm happy at 12 depth. So I'm just going to skip that from there on. There is a good chunky attack stat, which is fantastic. We go ahead and get this one maxed out, which is a summoning skill. We get that one, which we don't really need. But we did get this one, double in dry environment. Increases extra damage. Okay, that's not too bad. We'll go ahead and get that. This one, we really need to get this one upgraded because this is our Inspire stacks. So I really want this one maxed out. We're going to go ahead and pick up the extra skill points because you can see down the bottom right, we are really low on skill points compared to what we need to be. Let's go ahead and get that skill. And then we can avoid combat here because we are at the depth we want to use. If we avoid those little ones, not the boss battles, but if we avoid those little ones, we're all good. I'm tempted to reduce the mental load, but this is too tempting to get because I really want to max this out and we're getting caught towards the end of the run. So hopefully we don't increase our mental load too much. There we go. There's another good one. I took the one with the skill points because once again, we're at 49.90 total available and we've got 36.94. So let's continue on. There's a few extra skill points. Proceed. Got another skill. Nice. And now I kind of think we go for the skill platform again because we are very low on skills. So let's go here, continue forward. Now we get a battle. So once again, this is going to be another one of those battles. I'm just going to cut through it so you guys don't have to watch it. But just note, some of these battles, they do eventually start getting hard and you will have to manual them, but I'll be back in a sec. All right, there we go. Battle done. Happy days. Let's go get some more rewards. I'll take the skill points. Happy. This is the one we want over here. We've got mastery and we're going to go the skill points in the attack. That's what we want, the better stats as well. Then we go ahead and we finally max this one out. That's nice. That is really nice. We obtain another skill from it. Cool. This one, we're going to go the skill points. Definitely. Now we're going to go ahead and reduce our mental load on this one because we do want to actually try and win these fights. We've got 58. We've got 95. We are above 1,000 mastery. So I'm going to go pick up this terminal just because of the high value of it. Our attack's decent at 865. Hopefully we can pick up another attack stat along the way. Once again, we don't have to do this. We can avoid that little battle because we can maintain our current depth, which we're happy with at 12. This one over here, I'm not going to reduce this. I'm pretty happy with that. We can jump in and upgrade this one. I just don't want to go above the 100 range ideally. So let's go ahead and progress forward into the final zone. All right, continue forward. This is a nice juicy attack to finish it off, getting us into a really good attack range. At the above 1,000 attack and mastery is really solid. You can tell our vitality is really poor. Like I said, I've got another build where I have very high vitality, so this is going to be like my YOLO build where we go all in on damage. All right, now we have the final boss. I'll actually show you guys this final boss. Just note, if you do lose these battles, it's not the end of the world because you can just retry them if you want to keep retrying to get the maximum result. And you do want to beat these bosses. So I'll show you the strategy on this one. This one is a very, very simple strategy, essentially. Basically, this middle section, the boss, when he goes into phase 2, he'll smack it and basically one-shot anyone in it. So my basic strategy is to just slap everyone over here and then just leave that area safe. And then that's pretty much the depth of my strategy. It's nothing too crazy. It's very much simplified. You can see that my mastery, attack, and vitality are all reduced. That is because of my mental load. So that means it's going to be a little bit harder, but hopefully we should be pretty fine and go ahead and get these things done. So we're going to go ahead and just put these summons out. Let's use that. Now there will be enemies summon on the other side. So now we're going to go ahead and use the barrier over here by him and see how far over we can get it. Because I don't want to bring him into that middle section is the only problem. So we're just going to cancel. We're going to wait for them to get a little bit closer. Wait for these guys to get a little bit closer. And now the problem is the auto. I'm going to actually take the auto completely off because I normally leave it on auto and like semi-auto it. But we're going to go ahead and do that just so we can avoid. We're going to put the defenses on here because they're just raining in some projectiles. So we're going to get the defenses up. We should survive pretty well with that. And there is that one enemy over there coming here. There's a few other guys coming up. We've got those ones under there. It's all pretty much under control. I'm not too stressed. We should be getting into the next phase of the fight any second now. What is slowing us down? Oh, these guys. All right, let's just go do that. Boom. That'll get them out of the way. Pew, 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 pew. Happy days. All right, now we get into phase 2 of the fight. So this is where he puts the hand out. And like I said, if you're in that middle section, you're getting absolutely tapped by this. And obviously every boss is going to be different. I just want to show you guys this one for the example. You can see that middle zone where he hits. We're just on the skirts of it. Otherwise, we would have been in pretty big trouble. So we're just going to go ahead and burst him down here. I'm not going to use my ultimates until we get into the final phase. But I will go ahead and summon all the ads and stuff like that to just go ahead and wipe him essentially. And that's all we're looking at. We're just trying to stay out of that range. The terminal is there. We can use the terminal to drones. Let's get some drones out. Who cares? So now I always forget to use the terminal. So now he's going to go into forearm mode. And this is where I'm just going to burst my ultimates and we pretty much wipe him. It's not too bad of a fight after this. We make sure she is in the buffing mode, which I think she's currently in healing. So let's go ahead and use the buff. Then we can go ahead and use her big buff. Use that. Perfect. And now we can use our ults because now we're heavily buffed. And so now we can use her ult. Boom. Happy days. Now we can use this ult as well. Boom, summon. Now we're going to go like this so we can hit all of them. Boom, use. Sweet. Then we just rack in the damage. And then we can just throw a barrier out as well. Oh wait, we already killed him. Well, that was a bit easier than I thought. We did get a pretty good attacking setup on this one, so we had a lot of damage. And that is the basic gist there. Like I said, that battle is just don't stand in the red zone and you're pretty much good to go. So there we go. We finished that one. We come up here, accept. So now we look at our stats. The mastery, we're still pretty good at 1039 mastery. I'm cool with that. I might take the defense just because our vitality is so low. So this just gives us a little bit more survival. We're going to pick up those extra points. This one here, we can go mastery and skill points or vitality and skill points. I'm going to go the vitality just because, like I said, I feel like we're feeling a little bit squishy. This one's perfect. We max out this skill, which is very important. And then complete Nexus, echoing Nexus complete, confirm, happy days. That was actually a pretty decent run for a bit of a damage-based run. We've got pretty good stats. I'm pretty happy with it. As you can see here, we are A27, which is a great result. So now we've got to configure our skills. You can see we had really good attack. My head's blocking it, but we've got 1039 mastery, just an all-round good split, except for the vitality is a little bit low, but we're playing the game for YOLO. So what you can do here is you can go recommended, but I don't like the recommended. What I normally do is I click recommended and then I go through and I adjust everything. Because you can see here, this has not picked up this skill, but grants all other echoes amount two. So this is my inspire stacks. After casting an active or seed skill of the summon recovery type, the autofill didn't even give me my key inspire ability. So honestly, the auto is pretty bad. It's just if you want to go through it, pick up your inspires first. This one we can just pick up one depth of. Like I said, you just want to make sure you have your inspires. Here's another inspire stacker. And then I got my inspire stacks. Then you just go what is based off of what works on your team. I'm not going to bore you guys with it entirely. So I'm just going to go do it. And then I'll come back at the end of this. Okay, that took a minute, but I'm pretty happy with my build. Once again, you just got to go through and read it. This is the tedious part of it that I don't like in this system. It's way too tedious trying to go through all these skills. I get what they were trying to go for, but yeah, it's just a bit much. So there we go. We obtain, we get out, and then we've got our skills. You can see them all listed there. Configure skills. Whoops, no, my bad. We hit confirm. And then we are done. That is our engraving. As you can see, we've got the A27 on this one. That is the overall rank of it. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Once again, if you are going to build engravings, I would recommend doing, when you hit a breakpoint. So for instance, for me, my memory traces, so you can see there, the level 50 is my max. When I get to level 30, I'll be able to take them to level 60. That is when I will do another serious run on a character of my main 4 characters to try and get it ramped up to try and optimize the run. Besides that, I'm just going to do other characters and put it on full auto because I'm not too stressed about them. The reason I want to do other characters next is if we go to joint training, we will unlock 2 more nodes of this, and to clear these nodes, you have to have different characters of the different classes with engravings so that they can be the leader defending these nodes. And so you need to have a wide variety of them for that purpose. And that is what I will be doing. The other thing is you need a wide variety of this to get your your total rating up. But obviously this is capped based on a time limit. But that is what we are basically looking at. Like I said, that is hopefully going to help you guys. Once again, it is the most complex thing I have ever seen in a game. It is really nice once you start to understand it and you have things that you're aiming for. But I think it is definitely overwhelming to a new player. So hopefully that simplified it a little bit for you guys so you know what you're looking at. Let me know what other videos you want me to make. Like I said, I'm sorry that wasn't the best constructed video. I tried like 8 times to record this and I just couldn't get a format that I was really happy with. Hopefully it helps. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.